Hey everybody, it's John Cotey. This is Joey Knight, and we're back for a third season of Friday Night Rewind. It's going to be bigger and better than ever this year.
Oh, great to be here, Cody. Dad Stadium, ready to kick off this season.
Hey, remember me? I was here last year. I tried to be on the show.
Yeah, you were on the show. You wanted to be Planned Parent from last year, but it was the last episode of the season, and we really didn't have time.
I know.
I'm sorry about that.
How about this year? It's a new season.
Oh my God.
Okay,
he's never going to let us alone, so here, go ahead.
Hey, my son is a senior at Plant High School, Eric Dungy, and you're watching the third season of Friday Night Rewind.
Infinite skills. Friday Night Rewind is on tap again. If you want to know it now, what's happening? TampaBay.com is the source you trust. We got imitators, but they don't do sports like us. We got the county battles and crosstown rivalries. Highlight Central, we hit you with what you gotta see.
I'm cramping. First week of the season, I'm dumbfounded. I'm discombobulated. I'm dehydrated. Tampa Bay Tech has rallied from a 24-0 second-half deficit for a 32-30 win against Plant, thanks in part to Jonathan Williams' 30-yard game-tying touchdown pass to Kludner LeCount.
It should be noted Plant was without several injured starters, including quarterback Philip Ely. As a result, its offense was a little pedestrian. The only first-half highlight, a 34-yard touchdown run by James Wilder, gave Plant an 8-0 halftime lead. Plant built on that lead early in the second half thanks to some Titans miscues. You see Wilder scoring another touchdown here. It was a high snap by Tampa Bay Tech, resulted in a safety. Things were looking bleak for the Titans. Allen Sampson returns the ensuing free kick for a touchdown, makes it 24-0. Time for a little bit of X's and Whoas. Wait till you see what happens next. James Few's pitch is errant. DeRobia Jones picks it up, races into the end zone for the Titans' first touchdown. 2-point conversion makes it 24-8. A block punt by Josh Smith sets up another Titans touchdown and another ensuing 2-point conversion. It's interesting to note the Titans were 4 for 4 on 2-point conversions on the night. Plant answers with another Sampson kick return. We assume it's over at that point. That's what we get for assuming. Sam Jones returns the ensuing kick deep. LeCount scores on the next play. A Tim Tebow type thing by C.J. Jackson makes it 30-24. Then the controversial play of the night. DeAndre Queen fumbles. Still photos showed his knee was down, but there's no instant replay in high school. Sorry, Coach Bob Weiner. Then Williams finds LeCount over the middle on a hot read to tie the score. Then another Tebow type thing to Dante Evans. Ball game. Breathtaking.
When I was hired, I told them in the cafeteria the first day they introduced me as a head coach, in year 3 we will win a state championship. If this doesn't set the tone to do that, I don't know what else will.
Hey there, it's John Cotey with Friday Night Rewind, and I'm here at Gibbs where a sold-out house tonight witnessed a 40-6 Lakewood victory. This was expected maybe to be a good, close contest, but it didn't turn out that way because Lakewood's defense was outstanding. Gibbs had a net total of 0 yards rushing, but let me show you exactly how rough it was for Gibbs tonight. I'm going to be Josh Rembert here. Ready? Hut! Help! Help! The game was close early on. It was scoreless after one quarter. Gibbs was hanging tough, but then Bernard Reedy, who's standing to my left here, scored 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. They added another. They go into the half with a 20-6 lead, and then in the second half, Reedy scores again. He played a little bit of running back, a little slot, lined up at quarterback a couple times. 160 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he is our Friday Night Rewind HomeTeam.TampaBay.com player of the game. Bernard, just talk about the importance of getting off to a good start this season against a rival like Gibbs.
Yeah, that was our whole game plan to come in because we knew they had a good team with West and Rembert. So our whole game plan was to stop them.
This is Izzy Gould with Friday Night Rewind, where Nature Coast has defeated Central 44-6 here in Brooksville. The Sharks playing for the first time since they were disqualified from the playoffs and their game with Central canceled last season. People possibly expecting some bad blood, but everything was quite cordial at the end when both teams shook hands. Nature Coast has discovered that they have a backup quarterback in Juwan Story, who played for most of the night for an injured C.J. Baker with a hurt left knee he sustained during practice earlier this week. The Sharks had plenty of firepower here in the second half, looked a little rusty in the first half. No preseason game last week, but the Sharks, again, victorious here, 44-6 against Central.
It was good, good win for us. One we haven't beaten Central in the history of the school. And for these kids, it was good. It was their 10th victory in a row. And it was, they wanted to do that in honor of Scott Avery, the kid who passed away last year on the team. And it was a great feeling. The kids did a great job, practice hard all week, and I was real proud of the way they handled themselves, and a good, clean game.
Already, Joey, week 1 in the books. Let's get this thing started tonight. Some of the biggest surprises. My biggest surprise, Jefferson 16, Hillsborough 15. Not so surprised that Jefferson won. I'm a little bit surprised that Hillsborough lost, if that makes any sense. They only scored 15 points, and after 2 weeks, including the preseason classic, this vaunted offense is looking like it might be a little bit overhyped.
Biggest surprise for me, other than the fact that you're wearing a tie, Land O'Lakes, a 52-0 winner against Ridgewood under first-year coach Matt Kitchie. We knew the Gators would be pretty good, but they may very well end up being the best team on the North Sun Coast.
Biggest disappointment, Wharton losing 28-0 to Spoto. Not that they lost, but they got shut out. They got beat pretty bad. And they were 0-2 last year, and they rebounded to win their last 8 games. And the last time they were shut out in 2006, they finished 8-2 as well. So maybe there is a silver lining.
Biggest disappointment for me was River Ridge. They won 3 of 4 last year. This was a program that looked like it was about to turn the corner. They gave up a ton of big plays tonight in a 31-13 loss to Mitchell.
The best story tonight, I thought, was Pinellas Park winning Kenny Crawford's debut as head coach. They were 0-10 last year. They scored 29 points for the first time since 2003. It's a long time for only 29 points. And 4 players scored. It's the first time that's happened for Pinellas Park since 1913 or something like
wow.
that. Yeah, it's been a while.
Best story for me, Tyler Guy, senior quarterback at Freedom. We all know the story. He had to transfer from Zephyr Hills when that program went to a triple option that he was just ill-suited for. He had to find some other place to play. He found Freedom. He had 231 passing yards tonight and 4 touchdowns. I'm really happy for Tyler Guy because he's a quality kid. He does not deserve to happen what happened to him at Zephyr Hills.
And I'm just going to throw this out there real quick. New coaches tonight, 7 wins, 7 losses. The North Sun Coast winners at Wiregrass Ranch, Nature Coast Tech, Land O'Lakes. So they Brian Wechtel at Mitchell. So good night for them. Joey, it's time for our favorite part of the show, shout-outs, and I'm going to start at St. Petersburg Catholic. The Barons had a dramatic comeback tonight against Berkeley Prep. They fell short, however, but Chris McKay, 349 yards passing.
I'm going to Land O'Lakes. Tyler Peak, 259 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, and we got to give props to his O-linemen, Patrick Cronk, TJ Chamberlain, Peter Hernandez, Chris Thomas, and Donnie Gonzalez.
I was on the St. Pete bandwagon early last year. I was going to jump on it again this year, but now I'm just putting one foot in. 14-11 win tonight, but they need to block a field goal at the end of the game, and they also needed a 4th and 1 stand from the 1 to pull it out over the Eagles.
Adrian Bubba Golden, the prolific golf rusher, transferred to Tarpon Springs in his first game as a sponger, 285 all-purpose yards on only 11 touches, including a 93-yard touchdown on the opening and kickoff and a 30-point win against Palm Harbor University.
Tony Murphy at Pinellas Park, he scored one of their touchdowns tonight. Nick Kleckner scored another on a 62-yard punt return. Again, I said 29 points tonight, 48 points last year, all season long.
Quentin Williams from Jefferson, the great quarterback, a Division I recruit in the making. 200 yards passing, 62 yards rushing in that 1-point win against Hillsborough.
Shaquille Bradford, Boca Ciega quarterback, he led his team back against Countryside. They fell short as well, but he threw for 4 touchdowns, 229 yards, and he added 72 yards rushing.
How about this, Cody? Ricky Trinidad from Mitchell, possibly the most underrated running back in our area. 11 carries, 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 94-yard kickoff return in that win against River Ridge.
A lot of running backs with big nights. Bernard Reedy at Lakewood had 4 touchdowns. Alton Taylor for Countryside, 4 touchdowns, 212 yards rushing. Mario Riley for Clearwater, 3 touchdowns, and Jeremiah George, 111 yards and a touchdown.
Hank McLeod from Tampa Catholic, 216 rushing yards, a couple of touchdowns, and a 28-14 win at Groveland South Lake for Tampa Catholic. Where have you been?
Dude, that Planned Parent,
yeah?
He started talking about football, and he said he used to be a coach, and him and his buddy Manny or Monty or something came up with some great defense that was everybody knew about it.
All parents are football
Oh my
coaches.
God, I'm like, dude, I'm a high school football sports writer. I know more about football than you do. This is Friday Night Rewind.